This was not a Formless distilled for a pose. It brackled and splashed and ignored all the no's. The mud was whack muddy, the water was brown, and nobody cared if they slipped or fell down. The horses went plod and the dogs went zoom, and the goats went I'm here and a now sort of boom. The small ones were loud, the big ones were calm. No one was worried who ran the whole farm. You see, on this farm there were rules, yes indeed, but the rules were more guides than a Bossy Stampede. They bent when they needed, they stretched where they should. They mostly said tries if you must or you could. The dogs did not ask if the puddle was theirs. They jumped in together and soaked all their hairs. The horses did not say excuse me, that's mine. They waded right in like seems fine. Pups were tiny and thought they were huge. They barked at the horses with confidence brewed. The horses just blinked with a look that said, well, that's a vicious small thing, you're doing it well. There was splashing and rolling and standing about, and nobody shouted, hey, cut that out! Because cutting things out was not how this place ran. Things sorted themselves, that was part of the plan. The fences stood watching, they didn't complain. They knew they were fences, not kings of the plain. They marked where things were, not where things must be. And sometimes a husky stepped through just to see. The mud didn't judge, the water didn't scold. The shade didn't ask you were timid or bold. If you showed up, you fit, that was all there was to it. No forms, no forms. They were tired of that form. So the farm kept on farming the way farms once did, by letting things happen, by minding the grid of who needs some space and who needs a friend, and when to begin and when not to mend. And if you look close at the splashes and hay, at the dogs and the horses all sharing one day, you might hear the place humming a low muddy tune. We're not being managed, we're just being soon. Soon enough to lie down, soon enough to get wet, soon enough to forget who outranks whom you bet. Because this was a farm that had figured it out. Not tidy, not perfect, but rich without doubt. Where order grew sideways and sense came from play, and everything worked by not working one way. And the pictures all whispered if pictures could talk. Life's better together. Now come on, let's walk.